Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in for today's video. I'm gonna jump right into it. We're gonna be talking about Color Finale Pro. This is a plugin for us Final Cut Pro users, so if you edit your videos in Final Cut, stick around, you might find some value with this topic. Now, there's a lot within this plugin. I'm not gonna cover everything. I'm only gonna point out some of the key features that have stood out for me after using it for, actually, I've been using it for almost 2 years already. Now, before we jump any further, let me just start off with the price. It starts at $150 if you wanna jump into it. You download that from the website. I'll leave a link down in the description if you guys wanna check it out. Now, with the price out the way, let's jump into some of the key features that have stood out to me. So ever since I started editing videos and getting into the whole video production world, I started in Final Cut. Final Cut's pretty much all I've known. I've tried DaVinci Resolve, I've tried Premiere Pro, but I keep coming back to Final Cut because I enjoy the workflow, the editing. I'm very fast in Final Cut, and I've also noticed Final Cut is a very fast software. Now, one of the key features that I noticed that I personally really enjoy of Color Finale Pro is the fact that you have everything in one unit, like in one plugin. You got your color wheels, you got your S-curves, you got your LUT generator, you got everything within one plugin. You don't have to put a bunch of instances of different plugs. Like, it just all works within one plugin. Now, that does make it very convenient and very fast as I'm color grading. I could even group certain sections of my color grading process together just so I know where I'm at, and makes things very organized for me. Now, another key feature that was just implemented on an update they made is false colors. False colors, this is huge for me, and I really enjoy that they have false colors within the plugin, because I used to use a third-party plugin and it was a little finicky. It wouldn't really work the way I wanted it to. Now that we have false colors within Color Finale plugin, it just puts everything together the way it should. And again, this is focused for color grading, so they're giving you all the tools you're gonna need as you're color grading. And also, if you are not too familiar with false colors now, I'm sure as you continue your journey, you're gonna start getting into it and you're gonna realize like, oh wow, false colors is actually a great feature to have. Now, another tool that they give us within the plugin is the image analysis section. They have the masking. You could use an ellipse to mask out a section of your image. Now, Final Cut Pro does have a plug that you can mask out certain areas, which is great. But I'm telling you, just having it within the plugin, it makes everything very quick to pick and grab and drag over and start using it. Now, the other great thing about this ellipse or the masking that it has is as soon as you do an ellipse or mask out a certain section, I drag it over to a part of the skin tones and is giving me the exact values on my scopes. Now, that makes it very convenient as I'm color grading, correcting certain things that I need to correct on skin tones. If I need to adjust the color of my skin tones, it's just right there and it reflects it on my scopes, whatever it is that I'm selecting. That makes the process so much faster to color grade, and it's very convenient. Honestly, when I'm working and I'm editing videos, color grading, just having that convenience without you even knowing, as you start getting faster and faster with your turnaround time, you'll realize that these tools really do come in handy. Now, another feature that it comes with, I don't really use this feature all the time, I use it every now and then, is the Film Emulator. The Film Emulator, I think, is a great feature to have. I have purchased third-party plugins just to give me that film emulation, which they look okay. I don't tend to use it all the time, but again, it's also really convenient to have it within the plugin. I don't feel like that film emulator from Color Finale is the best one out there, but I do like the fact that they have it right there because, like I mentioned, I do use it sometimes. It's a tool that I have right at my fingertips if I feel like I want to add some film emulation to some of my clips. Now, another key feature of Color Finale Pro is the sharpening tool. This sharpening tool alone, just to have that sharpening tool, makes it worth it. I've tried sharpening my image with Final Cut plugin, which they have their own sharpener. It's not that good. Now, when I use the Color Finale sharpening tool, it looks so good. I don't know what's going on or how they've done it, but it looks really crisp. It does not look digital. It does not crack out the edges of the surfaces or anything like that. It looks really, really pleasing to the eye. And I noticed that I pushed that sharpener up to like 25, 30, even 45%, and it still looks really good. Now, I do tend to use a sharpener when I'm shooting or I'm filming in 1080p. If I'm using my Canon EOS R or even the 1DX Mark III and I'm using the 1080p video format, I will sharpen that image and it looks really, really good. Now, those are a few key features that stood out to me, but it's not perfect. There's a few things that I'm not sure if it's just on my computer or I don't know. There's a few bugs that I've noticed after using it for a very long time, and I want to share that with you guys as well. So one of the things that I've noticed that I don't know if it's a glitch, but I notice that when I'm color grading, as I'm stretching my highlights, but when I'm doing my shadows, I'm pulling down my shadows, I notice that on my scopes or on my waveforms is not accurate. I notice as I'm pulling those down, it almost skips or it does a bump down in the shadow section. I'm not sure if it's a glitch with my plugin, or I don't know if that happens with other people using this plugin, but it is something that really frustrates me. Honestly, from the cons that I'm gonna share with you guys, this is my #1 frustration. I just cannot dial in my shadows properly because it does this, it just kind of skips. So it's not a true representation. Again, if anybody's watching this that has this happen to you guys, let me know down in the comments if there's a fix for this. I really want to know. So what I do to adjust that issue, sometimes I don't really pay attention to the actual number value that it says right there on my screen. I just eyeball it. If it looks right to me, if my shadows look right to me, I'll leave it as is and I'll pull it a little bit more or a little less. I just trust my eyes when it comes down to that section. Now, another con that I want to share with you guys is it can be a little slow sometimes. Kind of, well, it's not really a con, it's kind of obvious since you're using so many processing power within one plugin. But if you're just color grading like color wheels, your LUT generator, and another color wheel, it's okay. But as soon as you start masking and as soon as you start going deep into this plugin, because it is a very deep plugin, I've noticed my Final Cut Pro sessions, every now and then they will crash, or I get the death wheel that starts blinking. So I noticed that has happened to me a few times when I'm using this plugin. It's not a deal breaker because I don't really go as deep as other people might go into it, but just the tools that I'm using that I've mentioned on the key features, it's been fine. It has not crashed on me, but there's a lot more to this plugin, and when I jump into the other extra features, I do notice it gets a little laggy. Now with the cons, that's pretty much it. Those are the only things that, again, I've used this plugin for almost 2 years already, and those two cons right now that I mentioned to you guys have been the issues that I've noticed as I'm using this plugin over and over again. Now, who do I recommend this plugin for and who is it for? Honestly, if you guys are in Final Cut Pro and you guys are doing your editing, again, Final Cut Pro does a great job. You guys can edit, come up with amazing images within the plugins that it offers you. But if you want to take it to another level and you're like, you know what, I'm kind of getting bored of using the same process or just the same techniques, honestly, Color Final Pro is the way to go. It's gonna open up your mindset. It's gonna allow you to get more creative within this plugin. And also for those of you that have been kind of dabbing into DaVinci Resolve, I know I have been trying DaVinci Resolve and I love the color grading workflow, but like I mentioned, I keep coming back to Final Cut just because of the editing workflow, and I just cannot be jumping back and forth. If you're that person that is jumping back and forth, try out the trial. I know they have a demo version that you can download for free and test it out. It's a great way to jump into color grading and explore it a little further within Final Cut Pro. If you already use Color Final Pro, let us know down in the comments what are some of your favorite features from this plugin that I might have missed. And that's gonna wrap it up for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys have not already done so, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content like this. And also don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys. I'll catch y'all on our next video.